Commander Zachary Miller stood at the observation deck of Earth's orbital defense station, his eyes fixed on the strange vessel that had appeared at the edge of the solar system. It wasn't human-made, that much was certain. Its sleek, silvery hull gleamed against the blackness of space unlike anything Earth engineers had designed. "Sir, they're requesting permission to dock," said Lieutenant Ryan Powell, his voice tight with tension. Miller nodded slowly. "Grant it. And alert the diplomatic corps. Looks like first contact is happening on our watch." 3 hours later, Miller found himself seated across from beings that defied his imagination. The aliens called themselves the Concordat, an alliance of different species united under one banner. Their leader, Ambassador Vextral, had skin the color of polished jade and 4 arms that moved with fluid grace. "We come seeking help," Vextral said, his translator converting his musical language into English. "Our civilization faces extinction." Miller kept his face neutral, though his heart raced. "That's quite a statement, Ambassador. I'm just a military commander. Shouldn't you be speaking with our world leaders?" Vexatral's large, pupil-less eyes blinked slowly. "We need soldiers, Commander Miller. We need warriors. That is why we seek humans, specifically." The meeting room fell silent. Miller exchanged glances with General Patricia Rivera, who had joined them midway through the discussion. "You've barely discovered our existence," Rivera said carefully. "How do you know what humans are capable of?" A second alien, shorter than Vextral with rust-colored scales covering its body, stepped forward. "We have been watching, from a distance, for decades." Miller felt a chill run down his spine. "And what exactly have you seen that interests you?" "Your adaptability," Vextral answered. "Your resilience, your capacity to endure conditions that would kill most sentient species, and your unpredictability." The alien displayed a hologram in the center of the table, images of human achievement. Olympic athletes pushing physical limits, explorers surviving in the harshest environments on Earth, soldiers continuing to fight despite severe injuries. "The Krell Empire has conquered 17 systems," Vextral continued. "They are methodical, calculating. They can predict the response of every species they've encountered. But humans—" The alien made a gesture that might have been admiration. "Humans are chaos incarnate." General Rivera leaned forward. "You make us sound dangerous." "You are," the scaled alien said bluntly. "That is precisely why we need you." Miller studied the aliens carefully. "Let me get this straight. You want to recruit humans to fight in your interstellar war because we're unpredictable?" The Concordat Council was divided on this decision, Vextral admitted. Many thought approaching humans was too risky. One counselor used the exact words, "You want to recruit humans? Are you insane?" Miller couldn't help but smile at that. "And what did you tell them?" "I told them that insanity might be our only hope against the Krell." The meeting continued for hours. The aliens shared star charts, battle histories, and information about the Krell, a hive-minded species bent on assimilating all intelligent life into their collective. As the aliens prepared to return to their ship, Vextral paused. "We will return tomorrow for your answer, Commander. The Concordat offers fair exchange, advanced technology, access to resources beyond your system, and protection under our laws." After they left, Miller stood alone at the window, watching Earth rotate slowly below. "What do you think?" Rivera asked, joining him. Miller took a deep breath. "I think humanity just got invited to the biggest fight in the galaxy, and I think we're going to accept." He turned to face her. "This is our chance, General. Our species has been confined to one solar system. Now we have a shot at the stars." Rivera nodded slowly. "I'll inform the President. But Zach," she added using his first name, "these aliens are right to be afraid of us. The question is, should they be more afraid of what we'll do to their enemies or what we might eventually do to them?" Miller had no answer for that. The stars beyond the window suddenly seemed much closer than before. Captain Olivia Warren wiped sweat from her forehead as she finished her 10th lap around the training field. 20 soldiers followed behind her, their boots kicking up dust in the morning sun. To the side of the field, the alien Zixara watched with all four of her eyes widened in what Olivia had learned was an expression of shock. "You do this every day?" Zixara asked when Olivia jogged over to her. "This is just the warm-up," Olivia said with a smile. "The real training starts now." For the next 2 hours, Olivia led her newly formed strike team through combat exercises. They practiced with plasma rifles provided by the Concordat, learning to use the alien weapons that felt both strange and familiar in their hands. Zixara continued to watch, her green skin turning slightly pale when 2 soldiers began a hand-to-hand combat demonstration that left both bloody but grinning. "Why are they smiling?" the alien asked. "They are injured." Olivia shrugged. "It's just a little blood. Besides, you learn more from pain than from success." That evening, a formal dinner was held at the newly established Concordat embassy. Earth's leaders had agreed to the alliance 3 days ago, and tonight was meant to celebrate the partnership. Olivia sat between Zixara and a high-ranking Concordat general named Vrelkon, whose body resembled a mantis standing upright. "Tell me, Captain Warren," Vrelkon said through his translator, "what activities do humans enjoy when not training for battle?" Olivia thought for a moment. "Well, I enjoy rock climbing, scaling up cliffs with just your hands and feet. The higher and more dangerous, the better." Vrelkon's antenna twitched. "You climb rocks for enjoyment?" "Sure. Some people prefer more extreme sports like free diving or base jumping. That's where you jump off very tall structures with just a parachute." Zixara made a choking sound. "You fall from heights intentionally?" "It's the rush, you know, the feeling of danger." "Oh, and lots of us compete to see who can eat the spiciest foods that cause pain." A blue-skinned diplomat across the table leaned forward. "Your species seeks out pain for entertainment?" "Not all pain," Olivia clarified. "Just the fun kinds." The translator struggled with the concept of fun pain, causing a series of confused chirps around the table. Vrelkon turned to Ambassador Vextral, who sat at the head of the table. "You recruited humans? Are you insane?" he hissed, not realizing his translator was still on. The room fell silent. Olivia looked around at the aliens, then burst out laughing. Other humans joined in, while the aliens looked increasingly concerned. Ambassador Vextral stood, raising a glass. "To our human allies. Their ways are not our ways, but perhaps that is exactly what we need against the Krell." Later that night, Olivia met with Commander Miller in the secure briefing room. "How's the strike team coming along?" Miller asked. "Good. The soldiers are adapting to the alien tech quickly, but I'm more concerned about our allies," Olivia replied. "How so?" "They're afraid of us, Zach. I can see it in their eyes. They've never seen anything like humans before. We heal faster, fight harder, and take risks they consider insane." Miller nodded slowly. "That's why they came to us. They need what we are." "And what exactly are we?" Olivia asked. "According to Vextral, we're the only species in the known galaxy that evolved on a death world." "A what?" "A death world. Earth. Extreme temperature variations, natural disasters, high gravity, dangerous predators, disease. Most intelligent life evolved in much more stable environments. We're Space Orcs to them, Olivia." She laughed. "Space Orcs? Scary monsters who can survive almost anything. Tomorrow your team boards the Concordat flagship. You'll be the first humans to travel beyond our solar system." Olivia felt a thrill run through her body. "Any orders, Commander?" Miller's face grew serious. "Show them what humans can do. But remember, we're not just fighting for the Concordat. We're fighting for humanity's place among the stars." Olivia nodded. "We won't let you down." As she left the room, Olivia couldn't help but smile. Space Orcs. She kind of liked the sound of that. Lieutenant Daniel Reese stared out the viewport of the Concordat flagship, eternal harmony as it moved through space faster than light. The stars looked like streaks of paint across a black canvas. 1 week had passed since the human team boarded the alien vessel, and Daniel still couldn't believe he was actually traveling between stars. "Amazing, isn't it?" said Samantha Ellis, the team's communications specialist, as she joined him by the window. "I never thought I'd see anything like this," Daniel replied. "My grandfather would have given anything to be here." Their moment of wonder was interrupted when 3 alien crew members entered the observation deck. They stopped when they saw the humans, clearly uncomfortable. "Don't mind us," Samantha said with a friendly wave. The aliens nodded politely but kept their distance. "They're still scared of us," Daniel said quietly. "Can you blame them? Yesterday you lifted that cargo container that was meant to be moved by their loading robot." Daniel shrugged. "Earth's gravity is stronger than what they're used to. That makes us pretty strong out here." An hour later, Daniel had set up an impromptu gym in one of the cargo bays. Using boxes and equipment, he created a space where the human team could maintain their fitness. He was in the middle of a set of pull-ups when he noticed a group of aliens watching from the doorway. "You want to join?" Daniel called out between breaths. One brave alien with purple skin and 6 limbs stepped forward. "What is the purpose of this activity?" "Staying strong," Daniel answered, dropping to the floor. "Want to try?" The alien attempted a pull-up, but could barely lift itself. The difference in muscle density between humans and the concordate species was clear. "Don't feel bad," Daniel said. "You've got 6 arms, that's pretty cool." Meanwhile, in the communications center, Samantha Ellis was causing a different kind of stir. The concordate's information systems were incredibly advanced, but Samantha processed the data faster than the alien operators. "How are you absorbing information at that speed?" asked the communications director, a tall alien with translucent skin that revealed pulsing blue veins. "It's normal for humans," Samantha explained. "Our brains evolved to make quick decisions during dangerous situations. You make battlefield decisions this quickly, even faster when adrenaline kicks in." In the engine room, engineer Joseph Grant was examining the ship's propulsion system. The technology was far beyond Earth's capabilities, but the principles were recognizable. "What are you doing?" asked a horrified alien technician as Joseph began adjusting a power coupling. "This connection is inefficient," Joseph explained. "I can improve the flow by at least 15%. But that violates 17 safety protocols." Joseph grinned. "Sometimes you have to break the rules to make things better." Before the technician could stop him, Joseph had reconfigured the coupling. The power readings immediately improved, and the subtle vibration in the deck plating disappeared. "That's impossible," the technician whispered. "No, just human ingenuity," Joseph replied. That evening, Captain Warren called a meeting with her team. They gathered in their assigned quarters away from alien ears. "How's everyone adjusting?" she asked. "They're fascinated by us," Daniel said. "I've got aliens watching me exercise like I'm some kind of circus act." Samantha nodded. "Same in communications. They can't believe how quickly we learn their systems." "Engineering team is coming around," Joseph added. "After I fix that power coupling, they're starting to trust my ideas." Olivia looked at each of them. "Good, but remember we're guests here. We need to respect their ways while showing them what humans can do." "Captain," Samantha said hesitantly, "I've been monitoring their internal communications. Some of the crew are afraid of us. They think we're unpredictable and dangerous. Aren't we?" Daniel asked with a small smile. Olivia's reply was interrupted by a sudden alarm blaring throughout the ship. Red lights flashed in the corridor outside. "What's happening?" she demanded, reaching for her weapon. The door slid open, revealing Zixara. The alien's 4 eyes were wide with fear. "Captain Warren, we've encountered a Krell scout ship. They're preparing to attack." Olivia looked at her team. Their weeks of training were about to be put to the test. "Looks like the Krell are about to learn why recruiting humans wasn't so insane after all," she said, checking her weapon. "Let's show them what we can do." The Krell scout ship appeared on the main view screen as Captain Olivia Warren rushed onto the bridge of the Eternal Harmony. It was a dark, jagged vessel that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "Status report," Olivia demanded, joining the Concordate ship commander at the central console. The alien commander, a tall being, named Grelvox with smooth silver skin, turned all 4 of his eyes toward her. "The Krell vessel has powered weapons. They are preparing to attack. Have you raised shields? Olivia asked. Yes, but Krell weapons can penetrate our defenses with sustained fire. We have sent a distress signal to the fleet. Olivia watched the enemy ship's movements. They're trying to disable your engines. They want to capture the ship, not destroy it. The bridge crew looked at her in surprise. How can you know this? Grelvox asked. Because that's what I would do if I wanted to study. New technology, she replied. We need to act now before they get into position. Grelvox hesitated. The Concordat protocol state we must wait for reinforcements when encountering Krell forces. Olivia slammed her fist on the console. By then it will be too late. Permission to lead a boarding party onto the Krell ship. Boarding? Grelvox's skin paled. That is suicide, Captain Warren. Not for humans. After a moment of tense silence, Grelvox nodded. Very well, but this is against my recommendation. 10 minutes later, Olivia and her strike team were in the shuttle bay. Daniel Reese checked his plasma rifle while Samantha Ellis adjusted her tactical helmet. We go in fast and hard, Olivia told her team. The Krell won't expect a direct assault, that's our advantage. The human shuttle launched from the Concordat ship and raced toward the Krell vessel. As they approached, Olivia saw the enemy ship's weapons were still focused on the Eternal Harmony. They don't consider us a threat, she said with a grim smile. Their mistake. The shuttle attached to the Krell hull and Joseph Grant used a laser cutter to create an entry point. The team poured into the enemy ship, weapons ready. The interior was dark and humid. Strange, organic-looking walls pulsed with an eerie light. They encountered their first Krell within seconds. Tall, insect-like creatures with multiple limbs and chitinous armor. Fire, Olivia ordered, and plasma bolts lit up the corridor. The humans moved with a speed and aggression that shocked even the Krell. Where Concordat forces would advance methodically and retreat when injured, the humans charged forward, even when wounded. Medic, Alicia Martinez took a glancing hit to her shoulder, but continued providing covering fire with her good arm. You're injured, Samantha said. I can still shoot, Alicia replied, injecting herself with a painkiller. It's just a flesh wound. The team fought their way to the Krell ship's control center. The alien crew had never faced hand-to-hand combat with humans before and were unprepared for their strength and ferocity. Secure the room, Olivia ordered. As the last Krell defender fell, Joseph worked quickly at the alien controls. I can overload their weapon systems. It will disable the ship without destroying it. Do it, Olivia commanded. On the Concordat ship, the alien crew watched in disbelief as the humans not only survived, but succeeded in their mission. The Krell vessel's weapons went dark and its engines shut down. Impossible, Grelvox whispered. When the human team returned to the Eternal Harmony, they were met with a mixture of awe and fear. Zixara approached Olivia as medics treated the wounded humans. You attacked directly, the alien said. No species has ever boarded a Krell vessel and survived. Olivia shrugged. Sometimes the direct approach works best. You were injured, Zixara noted, pointing to a cut on Olivia's face. Yet you continued fighting. It's what humans do. Later, in a private meeting, Grelvox confronted Olivia. Your tactics were effective, Captain Warren, but they violated all Concordat battle protocols. You acted without authorization. And we won, Olivia replied simply. Yes, but at what cost? Your people fight like humans, Olivia finished for him. That's why you recruited us, isn't it? Grelvox's expression changed to one that Olivia now recognized as reluctant admiration. The Krell will not expect such tactics. Perhaps that is exactly what we need to win this war. As Olivia left the meeting, Daniel fell into step beside her. Word is spreading through the fleet, he said. They're calling us the crazy ones who board Krell ships. Olivia smiled. Good. I want the Krell to fear us. News of the successful boarding action spread quickly through the Concordat fleet. 3 days after the encounter with the Krell scout ship, the Concordat Council called an emergency meeting. The human representatives listened as alien voices debated the ethics of using humans in the war. They fight without honor, shouted a counselor with spiked ridges along his head. They attack when retreat is the sensible option. They continue fighting when injured. This is not how civilized species conduct warfare. And yet they succeeded where our tactics have failed, countered Ambassador Vextral. The Krell have pushed us to the edge of extinction because they can predict our every move. They cannot predict humans. Lieutenant Jason Carter sat quietly beside Commander Miller during the debate. While others spoke, Jason's mind worked on a plan. When there was finally a pause in the argument, he stood up. "Excuse me," he said, his voice firm but respectful. "I'd like to propose an operation." All eyes turned to him. Many of the council members had never spoken directly with a human before. "The lieutenant has the floor," Vextral said. Jason activated the holographic display in the center of the room. Our scans of the disabled Krell ship revealed the location of their main communications hub in this sector. "It's here, orbiting the third moon of this gas giant." The display showed a massive space station surrounded by Krell warships. "That hub coordinates all Krell activity in this region of space," Jason continued. "If we could infiltrate it and plant a virus in their systems, we could disrupt their operations for weeks." A blue-skinned counselor with elongated fingers leaned forward. "The station is heavily guarded. No ship could approach without detection." "Not a ship," Jason agreed. "A single shuttle pod, with a small team. Just 3 people." "Suicide," hissed another counselor. "The radiation levels near that moon are extreme. No living being could survive the approach, let alone the Krell defenses." Jason smiled slightly. "Humans can tolerate radiation better than most species in the Concordat. With proper shielding and medication, we can survive long enough to complete the mission." The council chamber erupted in overlapping voices. "Commander." Miller raised his hand for silence. "What Lieutenant Carter proposes is dangerous, yes, but humans specialize in high-risk operations. We believe this plan can succeed." The council debated for hours. Eventually, they agreed to let Jason lead a small team to attempt the infiltration, though most believed they were sending the humans to their deaths. After the meeting, Jason found himself cornered by a group of alien scientists who bombarded him with questions about human physiology. "Is it true humans can survive losing large quantities of blood?" one asked. "Is it true you can regrow damaged tissue?" asked another. "Why do humans take such risks when survival is uncertain?" a third demanded. Jason answered patiently, realizing that understanding was growing between the species even if it came with fear and confusion. Meanwhile, on the Krell homeworld, the High Command reviewed reports of their first encounter with humans. "They boarded the scout ship," said the Krell commander, its multiple eyes blinking in sequence. "No species has ever attempted such a tactic." "Analyze their behavior patterns," ordered the Krell overseer. "All species have predictable responses." "We cannot predict them," admitted the commander. "They do not follow logical patterns. When injured, they continue fighting. When outnumbered, they attack. Their decisions seem random." For the first time in the history of the Krell Empire, unease spread through the collective consciousness. A species that could not be predicted could not be easily defeated. Back on the Concordat flagship, Jason prepared his team for the infiltration mission. He selected Samantha Ellis for her technical skills and Daniel Reese for his combat abilities. "The radiation near the moon will be intense," he warned them. "Even with protection, we'll have limited time." "How limited?" Samantha asked. "About 30 minutes before we start showing symptoms of radiation poisoning." Daniel grinned. "So we'll have to work fast. Nothing new there." As they checked their equipment, Ambassador Vexitral approached with Commander Miller. "The Council has approved your mission," Vextral said, "though many believe you will not return." Jason nodded. "Thank you for your faith in us, Ambassador." "It is not faith," Vextral replied quietly. "It is desperation. But perhaps that is enough." As the ambassador left, Miller placed a hand on Jason's shoulder. "This mission could change everything," he said. "If you succeed, the Concordat will see what humans are truly capable of." Jason looked at his team. "We won't let you down, sir." "I know you won't," Miller said. because that's what humans do. We achieve the impossible. The stars blurred outside the small shuttle as Jason Carter, Samantha Ellis, and Daniel Reese approached. The gas giant. The massive planet filled their viewport, its swirling storms creating patterns of orange and red. The third moon, where the Krell communications hub was located, was hidden on the far side. Radiation levels rising, Samantha reported, checking her instruments. Shields are holding for now. Jason injected himself with the radiation medication developed by the Concordat scientists and modified by human doctors. Remember, we have 30 minutes once we're in range of the hub. After that, we need to be gone. The shuttle slipped behind, the gas giant, using its massive body to hide their approach from Krell sensors. When the moon came into view, they all fell silent. The Krell communications hub was enormous, a sprawling structure that wrapped around half the barren moon. Like a metal spider, no wonder the Concordat couldn't take this place, Daniel whispered. Look at those defenses. Jason studied the scans. There's a maintenance port on the south side. If we time our approach with that radiation storm, their sensors might miss us. The shuttle dove toward the moon, riding the edge of a solar radiation burst. Warning alarms blared as radiation levels in the cabin rose despite their shielding. 15 minutes until first symptoms, Samantha warned, her voice tight but controlled. They landed in a small crater near the maintenance port. Wearing sealed suits, they moved quickly across the lunar surface. Daniel carried the virus package, a small device that would corrupt the Krell communication systems once connected to their main computer. 2 Krell guards at the entrance, Jason said, peering over a ridge of moon rock. We need a distraction. I have a better idea, said Security Officer Nicole Foster through their comms. She had remained aboard the Eternal Harmony, but was supporting their mission remotely. Send them false security alerts from multiple locations. Make them think they're under attack from the north side. Can you do that? Jason asked. Already done, Nicole replied. I've been studying their communication patterns. They're very predictable. Within minutes, alarms sounded throughout the Krell facility. The guards abandoned their post, rushing toward the false threat. That's our cue, Jason said, and the 3 humans slipped inside. The interior of the hub was hot and humid, just like the Krell ship they had boarded before. They moved through twisting corridors, avoiding patrols by using the confusion Nicole had created. 10 minutes, Samantha reminded them as they reached a central chamber filled with alien computer equipment. She worked quickly, connecting their virus package to the Krell system while Daniel and Jason stood guard. This is incredible, she whispered. Their entire communication network is coordinated from here. They don't just share information, they issue direct commands to all Krell in this sector. Can you make it work? Jason asked, checking his radiation monitor. The levels were rising faster than expected. Almost. There. Samantha stepped back as the device lit up. Virus deployed. It will spread through their entire network within hours. They won't be able to coordinate large-scale attacks for at least 2 weeks. Let's go, Jason ordered. 5 minutes before radiation sickness kicks in. As they turned to leave, they found their path blocked by a Krell commander, larger than the others they had encountered, with armor that shimmered with an unnatural light. Intruders, it hissed, mandibles clicking. Non-Krell species, unknown. Daniel raised his weapon, but Jason put a hand on his arm. We are humans, Jason said. Clearly, remember that name. Then he threw a flash grenade, blinding the creature long enough for them to slip past and race back to their shuttle. By the time they lifted off, all 3 were showing the first signs of radiation poisoning. Nausea, dizziness, skin turning red. But they were alive, and their mission was successful. When they returned to the Concordat fleet, they were immediately rushed to medical treatment. News of their achievement spread quickly. The impossible mission had succeeded, and the Krell communications in the entire sector were in chaos. Science Officer Eric Patel made another discovery during their recovery. The human immune system, while damaged by the radiation, was adapting and recovering faster than any concordate species could. Their bodies fight the radiation damage like it's an invader, Eric explained to the amazed alien doctors. Humans evolved on a planet with multiple threats. Our bodies are designed to adapt and survive. This led to a new role for humans in the war. Emergency couriers who could travel through dangerous regions of space where other species would perish. Ambassador Vextral visited Jason in the medical bay. "Your mission has changed things," the ambassador said. "The Krell are confused. For the first time they face an enemy whose actions they—" The Concordate fleet gathered at the edge of Krell space. Over 200 ships of various sizes and designs formed a massive armada. In the 3 months since humans had joined the war, the tide had begun to turn. The Krell, once seemingly unstoppable, were now on the defensive. Commander Zachary Miller stood on the bridge of the flagship Eternal Harmony, studying the holographic display of the Krell homeworld. The planet was protected by orbital defenses and a fleet twice the size of the Concordate forces. "A direct assault would be costly," said Admiral Thrix, the supreme commander of the Concordate military. The admiral's crystalline body shimmered as he moved around the display. "Even with human unpredictability, we would lose half our ships before reaching the planet." Miller nodded. "Then we don't make a direct assault. We use deception." The alien officers looked at him with confusion. The concept of military deception was still new to many Concordate species, who had evolved in environments that valued straightforward communication. "Explain," Admiral Thrix requested. Miller enlarged the display. "We divide our fleet into 3 groups. The main force will appear to attack from this direction, drawing out the Krell defenders. Meanwhile, these smaller groups will use the gas clouds in this nebula to hide their approach and strike from unexpected vectors. The Krell will detect ships entering the nebula," one officer objected. "Not if we mask our energy signatures," Miller countered. "It's an old Earth naval tactic called silent running. We power down all non-essential systems and drift with minimal propulsion." The alien commanders debated the plan, testing it against their understanding of Krell tactics. Eventually, Admiral Thrix approved the strategy. As preparations began, Captain Olivia Warren was assigned to lead the ground assault team. The Krell Emperor was believed to be in a heavily fortified bunker beneath the surface of the homeworld. If they could capture or eliminate the Emperor, the hierarchical Krell society might collapse. "The gravity on the Krell homeworld is 1.8 times Earth normal," Warren told her team during the briefing. "For most concordate species, that's crippling, but for humans, it's challenging but manageable. We'll be the only ones who can fight effectively on the surface." Her team had grown to include 30 humans, all specially trained for the mission. They would drop to the surface in stealth pods while the space battle raged above. "Once we land, we'll have 10 hours to locate the Emperor's bunker and breach it," Warren continued. "Science Officer Patel has developed these stimulants to help us function in the high-gravity environment." Eric Patel distributed small injectors to each team member. "This will enhance your muscle efficiency and oxygen processing. Side effects include increased heart rate and possible hallucinations after 8 hours. Try not to use them unless necessary." As the final preparations were made, Miller received a surprising message from the Krell homeworld. It was a demand for the surrender of all human forces. "They specifically want us," Miller told Warren. "Not the Concordate, just the humans. We've scared them," Warren said with a grim smile. "Good." The battle began according to plan. The main Concordate fleet engaged the Krell defenders head-on, while the smaller groups powered down and drifted into the nebula. Miller watched from the command ship as the first phase unfolded. "The Krell are responding exactly as we predicted," reported a Concordate officer. "They've committed 70% of their forces to counter our main attack. Now," Miller ordered. The hidden ships powered up and burst from the nebula, catching the Krell fleet from behind. Caught between 2 forces, the Krell ships broke formation and scattered. Meanwhile, Warren's team launched toward the surface in their stealth pods. The small vessels were nearly invisible against the backdrop of debris from the space battle. They entered the atmosphere. The pods shook violently. The higher gravity pulled at them with increasing force. When they landed, several humans stumbled as they stepped onto the alien world, their bodies struggling against the increased weight. "Adjust quickly," Warren ordered, feeling as if she were carrying another person on her shoulders. "We don't have much time." They moved through a landscape of strange, angular structures and red vegetation. The Krell they encountered were unprepared for combat in their own gravity. To them, the environment was normal, but they had never needed to fight here against invaders. Most species would be immobilized by the crushing gravity, but the humans pushed forward, their bodies adapting as they had always done to hostile conditions. They located the Emperor's bunker beneath a massive structure shaped like a spiral. As they prepared to breach the entrance, Warren received a message from Miller. "The Krell fleet is in disarray," he reported. "For the first time in this war, they've abandoned their battle formations. They're fighting individually without coordination. Our strategy worked." Warren looked at her team, their faces streaked with sweat from exertion in the high gravity. "Time to end this war," she said, and gave the order to attack. 6 months after the Battle of the Krell homeworld, Admiral Lisa Donovan stood before the Galactic Concordat Grand Council. The massive chamber was filled with representatives from over 40 species, including a growing human delegation. The war was over. The Krell Emperor had been captured, and without its central leadership, the once mighty empire had collapsed into warring factions. "The Krell threat has been neutralized," Admiral Donovan reported, her voice carrying through the chamber. "Their territories are being divided according to the agreements we reached last month. The former slave species are being granted independence and offered membership in the Concordat." The council chamber erupted in sounds of approval. Clicks, whistles, hums, and applause depending on the biology of the species. Humans were now recognized throughout the galaxy as the key factor in defeating the Krell. "We must now address the status of Earth in the new galactic order," said High Counselor Zelvax, an ancient being with translucent skin that revealed swirling energies beneath. "Humans have proven themselves to be effective allies." The way he said effective made it clear he meant terrifying. Despite the victory, many species remained wary of humans and their unpredictable ways. Donovan understood the unspoken concerns. "Earth seeks fair representation in the Concordat, access to trade routes and technology exchange. In return, we offer our unique abilities and perspective." "Unique is one word for it," muttered a counselor, though not quietly enough. Several representatives shifted uncomfortably. Ambassador Vextrol, who had first approached Earth for help, stepped forward. "I remind the Council that without humans we would likely be extinct or enslaved by the Krell. Their methods may seem unorthodox, but their results are undeniable." The negotiations continued for days. Special protocols were established for dealing with humans, guidelines that recognized both their valuable contributions and the perceived dangers of their unpredictability. Earth was granted full membership in the Concordat, but with certain restrictions on military expansion beyond their solar system. "They don't trust us," Donovan told Commander Miller as they left the final session. "They're grateful, but they're also afraid." Miller shrugged. "Can you blame them? We upended their entire understanding of warfare in less than a year. They've never seen anything like us." "Is that a good thing or a bad thing?" Donovan asked. "Both, probably. But it gives us leverage in negotiations." Back on the Eternal Harmony, now permanently assigned as a joint human Concordat vessel, Captain Olivia Warren was training a new group of alien soldiers in human combat techniques. Many species had requested to learn from the humans, hoping to incorporate their effectiveness without their perceived recklessness. "The key isn't just being aggressive," Warren explained to her students. "It's being adaptive, changing your approach when the situation changes, improvising." The concept of improvisation was still difficult for many of the structured, protocol-driven alien minds. But they were trying to learn. In the ship's science lab, Eric Patel worked with alien researchers to study the unique aspects of human biology and psychology that had proven so valuable during the war. The project had been named The Human Factor, an attempt to understand what made humans different from other sentient species. "Your adaptability seems tied to your planet's unusual conditions," an alien scientist observed. No other known sentient species evolved in such a dynamic, threatening environment. Patel nodded. Earth shaped us through countless disasters and challenges. We had to adapt or die. As humanity established its place in the galactic community, a small vessel arrived at the edge of concordate space. Its crew, reptilian beings from a distant star cluster, had traveled for years seeking help. Their home systems were under attack by a hostile force that consumed entire planets. The Concordate Council convened an emergency session to hear their plea. After the reptilian captain described the seemingly unstoppable enemy, a silence fell over the chamber. Finally, one of the oldest counselors turned to Vextrel. Perhaps we should consult our human allies about this threat. Vextrel noticed a junior diplomat nearby looking horrified. You want to involve humans in another war? Are you insane? The young diplomat whispered. Vextrel smiled, remembering how he had once been asked the same question when he first proposed recruiting humans against the Krell. Perhaps, he replied softly.